There we go. All right. Welcome back, guys, to Surfing the Tide, episode, what is it, 5 now, I
I
think?
believe so. Number 5.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, it was a good Father's Day weekend. It was a good break from work and everything. Had a great weekend. How was yours?
It was good. Made a drive up to North Carolina. Saw some waterfalls, some wildlife, and shopped around. Had a good dinner, so can't complain.
Shoot, yeah. I went down to Dolphin Island, hung out with the fam, and it was a good time. Wish I got a little bit of fishing done, but I couldn't get to that. But
Yeah, it's never a bad time to go fishing. No matter where you are.
It is not.
I don't think there's any spot anywhere in the United States that has bad fishing. I mean, you can find places anywhere.
What is it? I'm completely blanking on that town's name, but whatever. Anyway, yeah, there's some town with really polluted water. I can't remember, but
Michigan?
Sorry,
Flint, Michigan.
Yes, Flint, Michigan. There it is.
Yeah, might want to catch and release up there.
Yeah, for sure. Dude, I had somebody wanting to take a bass that I caught from Langham Park down here in Mobile. He wanted to take it home and eat it. I was like, dude, no. You're going to get poisoned.
Same thing for the river here. People want to eat catfish out of the Tennessee River.
Yeah.
I'm like.
Yeah. I was like, man, you're going to get food poisoning from this. Or not even food. You're just going to get straight up poisoned. He's like, no, I eat these all the time. I'm like, no, you're not taking this. Sorry, I'm not giving it to you.
Yeah. Well,
man.
I'll tell you who also had a good Father's Day weekend. I think that's Alabama.
Oh,
I think they had a good weekend on the recruiting trail. Hosted a bunch of commitments, landed 3 commitments over the weekend. You got your second true defensive lineman in the class, London Simmons, out of Flowood, Mississippi. Super athletic guy. For his size, he's very moves very well. Played last year at about 340 pounds, and he's moving like this. And I believe he's dropped down like 30-ish pounds, so he's going to be even quicker on his feet this year. Really
stud.
Yeah, I mean he can really play all over the defensive line at this new weight. But another notable thing about him though is he is teammates with 2026 5-star safety Braylon Womack.
Oh yeah.
So maybe that could have some implications on Womack's recruitment down the road. I know the Alabama staff seems to like playing ball in the state of Mississippi in this recruiting cycle. So might translate to next year. Is there anything specific on his film that kind of stands out to you maybe?
I mean, I just watched him again. He is, oh my Lord, he's quick. I mean, he is so fast. His acceleration is ridiculous.
I can't imagine him like 30 pounds lighter too.
No, I can't either.
I mean, it's going to be nuts.
It's going to be insane.
I mean, he at that weight, he was like a quicker Tim Keenan. Now he's going to be like I don't even know how to explain. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to compare him to Quinnen Williams. Quinnen Williams is obviously like the better prospect.
Yeah.
But in terms of play style, the way he moves at that weight, it's pretty similar.
Yeah.
In that aspect of it. So, he earned an offer really quickly after camping. Roach was all over him, pushed for a commitment, and over Father's Day, Simmons pledged his commitment right after his visit.
Roll Tide.
Awesome. So, Bama struck again too on the offensive side of the ball in the trenches as well, with 4 5-star offensive linemen, Jackson Lloyd, out of Carmel in California. So Lloyd actually is a 3-sport athlete, if you didn't know. Plays basketball, plays baseball, plays football, and plays all 3 at a pretty high level. He's pretty serious, about all three sports. So he's 6'7", 280 pounds right now. Now that is because he has to get his body right for baseball and basketball season. He's playing summer basketball right now, so he can't be too big. But yeah, I know he's ridiculous. Watching the film right now, I mean he's so strong, but he's so athletic too. And look, I mean he's going out for a pass. I mean, we're always blocking. Never mind, but I've seen this clip. Watch this clip. Watch.
Oh my, no way.
Ready?
Touchdown. Oh. Oh my gosh!
He's an athlete, man. But what's great about him is
Really?
I think he plans on enrolling early, which means he will not be
Really?
playing baseball or basketball. Also meaning he's going to have an opportunity to put some weight on before getting to Alabama, which will be crucial for him.
Yeah.
He's on the lighter side right now, but that's only because of all the other sports he plays right now. So,
Yeah. I mean, he looks super, super athletic in this, but you also got to remember he's playing against guys that are half his size right now. So we'll see how he does in SEC ball.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too worried. He was a top target for, I mean, USC, Ohio State. I mean, Ohio State really wanted him, had him in for an official last week and had a little bit of confidence, but I think, Bama was too much in the end. So, he was actually Coach DeBoer's first offer when he got here.
Really?
Visited a few times since then. Yeah, he visited first time in January. Was the first offer. West Coast kid they recruited at Washington. So good to get him on board. The trenches are trenching right now.
The trenches are trenching. Yes.
right now. So Lloyd getting on board is definitely positive. We're building, as Casey Poe said on his Instagram story, the Great Wall of Cap, Coach Cap, the Alabama offensive line coach. So things are moving well right now.
Oh, and speaking of funny captions, we've got one heck of a caption for y'all later in the episode. It was hilarious.
Go ahead and drop it now, man. It was
all right. So who in the world was it? I got to scroll down.
It was James Burnup.
James Burnup.
Alabama.
So I've got it saved, so I'll pull it right up. So I can't share it on the screen right now, but he said, this was 5 hours ago. He said, "Peed my pants, explains the drip, #senior."
Yeah. Burnup has some great captions if you scroll through there. Big fan of James, and that was a good one. Speaking of punter, Alabama landed a special teams commitment over the weekend as well, actually during his official visit. Alex Asparuhov, I believe is how you pronounce it, out of
something like that,
Fresno, California. He was the number 2 punter in the country. Pretty impressive.
Sorry.
Oh, I didn't know whatever you were saying, man.
I was just going to go through the list really quick. He's Cole's professional camps rated him as a 5-star at the punter position, but then they also rated him as a 4.5 star at the kicker position. I thought that was really cool.
Versatile. We like those.
Yes, we do.
We got a lot of versatile guys committed right now, even on special teams. So the staff definitely has a type.
Definitely. Yeah, he actually played kickoff man also this past season.
Yeah.
Did well there.
Yeah, he got an offer, I believe, at the special teams camp.
Yeah.
And chose Alabama over teams like Florida and Oklahoma. So he had offers. He had some big-time teams wanting him. It's going to be nice to have a new punter in there, especially because Burnup is on his last year. Nick Serpa, the backup punter, really hasn't played much. I don't believe he was a scholarship player. And a guy like Asparuhov is going to be crucial and could honestly play his freshman year. So good to get a specialist in there. Most definitely. The staff has now added 2 specialists with Graham Nicholson as well at the kicker position from Miami, Ohio, in the transfer portal. So,
And Nick Serpa actually hasn't gotten any playing time in any of his seasons here. All. So, you're probably right about the not scholarship part. I actually don't even know about that, but that's probably right. But he's so James Burnup, like you were saying, graduates soon. So this is kind of perfect timing. I like that move a lot. But I was going to say he actually made 15 of 17 extra point attempts last season, 6 for 9 on field goals with a long at 42 yards. And so
he didn't kick much, it seems. Yeah.
No, he didn't.
9 field goals. His team must have been good, or they were either really good or really bad.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But he punted 32 times, so maybe bad. For 1,392 yards. This dude was rivaling his running back for yards.
He had the most yards on the team, probably.
Oh, my gosh. But he had a 43.5-yard average. But get this. So I read that he can flip the field, and that was absolutely right. So he went 14 of 32 inside the 20. He can flip the field.
And that's counting punts that were like, say, on his own 10 that are like impossible to get inside 20 on the other end. So like that's a very impressive percent. I mean, that's about half of his punts going inside the 20. So he definitely has some ball placement skills.
Yeah. For sure. But like I was saying, he's the kickoff man, or was this past season. So he's very, very versatile, like you were saying. But he chose Alabama over Florida and Oklahoma, actually. I've not done any research for either one of those teams, special teams departments. But
two big programs that wanted it. Yeah.
For sure.
I believe his dad was the place kicker at Fresno State.
Yes.
In 2000 to 2003, and was a Lou Groza Award semifinalist. So
in 2002.
It runs in the genetics and the genes, man. He's definitely got it. He has the genetics. He has he's definitely talented. He's a talented punter. So that'll be nice to have. You can never take a specialist for granted.
No.
And guys Burnup struggled early in his career, but was fantastic last year. We had a guy like Reichard, and then back in the day, J.K. Scott, who was probably the GOAT punter for Alabama. So, and I believe he was drafted. I think he was drafted in like the 5th round or something. I could be wrong, but so it's can never take a special teams commit for granted.
No, not at all.
Yeah. So, but
as the great Michael Scott would say, runs in the genes. I just had to drop that really quick.
Runs in the genes. Yeah, runs in the genes.
I love that episode so much.
So we also got some upcoming decisions, though.
Yes, sir.
Soonest set decision would be June 28th from our guy Dijon Lee, 5-star cornerback out of Mission Viejo, California. Now, this is a guy that Alabama recruited, or the Alabama staff recruited while at Washington. So the relationship there is pretty key and pretty strong. Lee is, he's a 6'4" corner that can jump out of the gym and is super athletic. You don't get a lot of those, right? Alabama signed Kyrie Jackson 3-4 cycles ago, but he wasn't nearly as athletic as Lee. Same height, but Lee, his length, his range, his athleticism, his speed is just on another level. So Lee actually took a visit to Georgia this past weekend, I believe. He wrapped up a visit to A&M during the week and then headed to Athens soon after. Funny enough, I have a lot of connections inside the Georgia program. Don't ask me how, but I just have a lot of, being from the area I'm from, I know a lot of people that, have parents or parents' friends who've played at Georgia, who are boosters at Georgia, all that sort of stuff. So I was curious the other morning, and I was like, hey, how did Dijon's Georgia visit go? He goes, I'll ask around, I'll see. So he got a text back, and I quote, he said, his mom was pumped about it. She had a good time. Then he said, but Dijon was strictly business on the visit. We were thrilled to get him in the building. He followed that up by telling me, seems like Bama still has the lead coming out of the visit, which is positive news. Bama just wanted him to get out of the visit uncommitted, right? That was the goal. Get him out of the visit uncommitted, get him on campus, and try and shut things down, try and, get things wrapped up with him. But to come out of the visit with still Alabama in the driver's seat is huge. It's massive, if that's true. So he comes into his Bama visit this coming weekend, and we'll see then. And then he'll commit a week from Friday, I believe. Yeah, a week from Friday, June 28th. So another top target, 5-star guy, one of the top corners in the country, one of the best players in the state of California. So
I want to see what it looks like on the depth chart with him paired with Chad McDonald. That'll be cool.
Yeah, that's two different two different types of corners playing at the same time with that'd be great. Bama's having some success in California.
Yeah.
You got Chuck McDonald, you got Jackson Lloyd, Abdul Sanders, among more, and then you're really in it for a guy like Dijon Lee. So hey,
we're looking to get more from Cali too.
Yeah, the matter day to Tuscaloosa pipeline is real. The California to Tuscaloosa pipeline is real, I guess. When you have a West Coast staff, I guess recruiting out west is
pretty easy.
Important. I would say super easy. I'd say a little less challenging just because you have those connections out there.
Easier.
But easier, yeah, but also kind of like a priority for them because they know the talent out there and they have previous relationships with them. So it's why not? Why not? It's great to win your state, But if you have better talent outside the state that you can get, why not? Why not go get that talent? So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So we got another upcoming decision.
Mr. Justin Hill.
Mr. Justin Hill out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Four-star edge. Yeah, he's recruited to play that Wolf position. I mean, he can really play any linebacker position, right? He can rush the passer off the edge, as you can see in his film. He can play inside linebacker if absolutely needed. He can blitz off the ball, on the ball. He can drop back into coverage.
So he's kind of like a D'Amico Ryans in that way.
Yeah, I mean he's talented, man. I mean the way he can get to the passer, I mean it's remarkable to me. I mean I think he's one of the best players in this class, just based off versatility, the way he can get to the passer, but also drop back into coverage. He's just a real threat like that. I mean you never know what he's going to do, and you got to be ready for 3 different things, right? So I mean it's ridiculous. But I was watching his film earlier today, and if you haven't check it out, I would say go check it out. I've watched it multiple times actually. But Wilt Fong, I was watching the Wilt Fong whip around today over on the On3 YouTube channel. And he was saying, he's visiting Oregon this coming weekend and they're going to do their best, but he still thinks it's Ohio State, Bama as well as many others. So I think that's kind of where things are going. It's hard to pull him from the state of Ohio. Especially because the state of Ohio doesn't usually produce, a ton of top players. And when they do, Ohio State makes it a priority to keep him home. So Bama wants him. He's one of their top overall targets in the class, regardless of where he plays on the field. So.
You told me that his mom loves Alabama too, right?
Mom does, yeah. You can watch the videos on Twitter, and she's in the back screaming "Roll Tide." She's all smiles in the pictures. I mean, yeah, she's committed to Alabama right now. Obviously, she's going to respect wherever her son goes, but I know where her vote lies. So, I mean, you can watch it on this film, right? I mean, he's lining up on the edge, just get off quick. I mean, he's not a super big guy, and he just drove a massive tackle all the way back. He's not the biggest dude ever. He's quick. He's powerful.
He's incredibly quick.
Coverage. He's really one of my favorite prospects overall. I'm not trying to, go too crazy over him, but I really think, I mean, him and the guy we're about to talk about next are built for the Wolf position in this Alabama defense.
Yeah, definitely. You see that step right there when he got past the line, boom, and then just
I mean, he's right off. I mean,
God, man.
I mean, he can beat you off the edge, speed to power. He can beat you off the edge, pure speed, pure power. I mean, he just, sheds 2 blocks, gets to the quarterback in under 2 seconds. That's just ridiculous. You can see he's in the middle of the field now, and it's just, he's a guy that, he's that guy.
Tom Brady says that was an incomplete pass.
He's one of my favorite overall prospects in this class, like I said. So, but another Wolf target that Alabama is really going after is Dawson Merritt. Merritt's been a guy we've talked about for a while. Well, if you follow Bama recruiting, you've talked about him for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's similar to Hill, I think. In the way he plays. He can drop into coverage. He can rush the passer. He can play off the ball. Whatever you really ask him to do. But he's deciding between Bama and Nebraska. Funny enough, he's from Kansas, so Nebraska is for sure closer to home. But Bama's, they've made him a priority. It seems he's back and forth. It feels like. It's just every day it feels like someone's like, oh, I think it's gonna be Nebraska. Oh, I think it's gonna be Alabama. But that's how recruiting goes, I guess, nowadays. You never know.
Who would you say is higher on our board, though? Justin Hill or Dawson?
This is without any inside information, so I'm just making a pure guess.
That's what I'm asking you to do, yeah.
The staff would take either. So I'll start off with saying this. The staff would probably take either. Like, if Dawson wanted to commit right now, they'd take him.
Yeah, for sure.
Dawson wanted to commit right now, they'd take him. I think when you talk about player they favor over the other, I think Justin would be their top guy at the Wolf position, and then Dawson. I think
see
it's
why.
Yeah. What'd you say?
I said I can see why.
Yeah.
Justin is a freak athlete.
Yeah. But yeah, I just think he's the number one guy on their board. But like I said, I mean it's not a big gap at all.
No.
But I think Justin's that big priority, and he's one of their top overall priorities. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Wolf position. You know, if they land both, if they land one of them, if they land none of them. So Bama has backup plans though, so I wouldn't worry too much. But I wouldn't be shocked if we went 1 for 2 there. I think that would be I think the staff would be thrilled to go 1 for 2 there.
Sure.
So, but yeah, another guy that just popped up too. Running backs. You know, we got a lot of running backs on the board right now.
We do.
Jordan Davison and Kylan Deere.
Mm-hmm. He's awesome.
Mills Knight, like we talked about with Amari. But then there's Harry Dalton, absolute bruiser, out of Virginia. So he's committed to USC, but he visited Bama this past weekend.
Watch this.
I mean, this is all. I mean, watch every tape. So he actually plays wildcat quarterback for his offense, or for his team. Sorry. I mean, so every clip you'll see him playing. I mean, he just runs over everyone, man. I mean, it's stiff arm. I mean, he can move too. I mean, he's throwing people off of him.
If y'all remember me talking about Richard Young when he was a recruit, guys, y'all remember this guy's similar. Richard was lightning in a bottle. I've been saying that he's incredible ever since we got him. I've been saying watch out for him ever since we got him. But this guy runs through people like he does. I love it.
Yeah. Dalton's heavy in the hips, and what I mean by that is he has a very low center of gravity. He's a heavy dude. I mean, he's a big dude. He's kind of like that. He has that Daniel Hill kind of build. Yeah, that too. And he's a bruiser. I mean, you watch him; he just runs over people. I mean, similar.
Oh my gosh!
Similar high school film to Josh Jacobs, in my opinion. He throws people off him and runs them over.
Definitely.
But I mean, you turn on this guy's film and you can see why the staff wants him. I mean, he can move like that, but he can also, you know, he can put your butt in the dirt real fast. So did he just slide? We got an ad. Did he just slide right before he got to the end zone?
Yeah, he did. Or no, I think he slid at the back of the end zone.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, but yeah, he officially visits USC this coming weekend, which is the school he's committed to. So, you know, we'll see what happens. Not much else to say.
Where do you think he's leaning right now? Would you have to say?
I mean,
if you had to say,
just with the way these official visits have been going for Bama, I would say that the visit definitely opened his eyes, and I think this visit this weekend to USC is huge for him to maybe either reaffirm his commitment. Maybe he's like, this isn't as good as Bama. Maybe he's like, yeah, this is where I want to be. So you never know. I mean, I think we just got to wait and see how the USC visit goes. And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if he were to flip, if it would be soon, like during the dead period. That wouldn't be shocking to me. I mean, when you're in the summer and you're really deciding between sticking with a commitment or one other school, usually a decision comes pretty soon. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but
next on the board we've got Micah DeBose from my old stomping grounds, Mobile.
Yeah, Bama isn't done on the offensive line.
Oh yeah,
they've currently made a dent, but they're going for the whole hole in the wall right now. I mean, they're trying to bust through. They're trying to make this has potential to be a very good offensive line class. You know, DeBose plays tackle in high school. I think he projects more as a guard. I mean, he's a mauler, dude. I mean,
he pancaked a guy from my old high school right there, UMS right.
Hey, represent.
Yeah.
You watch his film, and he's extremely aggressive. He has that kind of Jaden Roberts aggressiveness to him, in my opinion. He definitely has some things, you got to work on, of course, as any player does. But I think he projects better as a guard, just because of his size and just, how he moves. And you see him. I mean, you see him blocking those zone kind of concepts, going downhill blocking. So, down blocks, zone blocks, stuff like that. So he definitely fit well in a Kalen DeBoer offense. That's a lot of that. So, yeah, he's visited, Ohio State, LSU. He was a Georgia commit a long time ago. Like, it feels like a year ago. Decommitted. Funny enough, I remember when DeBoer got hired, he released a quote, and it said something about like, oh, I don't know if he's ready for the SEC. And all of a sudden, Bama's one of his top contenders in his recruitment. So funny how things come full circle, isn't it?
For sure.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, he's visited Ohio State, LSU, all these schools. I think Ohio State and LSU were probably the two schools biggest threat to Bama. I think it's probably relatively even right now. He visits Bama this coming weekend.
Actually, let me see really quick.
And we've seen, Alabama have success bringing guys in and getting commitments soon after. So,
yeah,
could DeBose be next? I don't know, but that would certainly be a huge addition, literally, to this offensive line class. That would make it 4 commitments with 3 already from Carroll, Waldrop, and Lloyd. So.
As of right now, LSU leads for him at 93.7%, and Alabama's next up at 2.5.
I don't pay attention to the RPMs.
Yeah, no, it's just something to say.
Yeah, I know. I don't really pay attention to the RPMs until like a decision gets close and RPMs start dropping. But I mean, it very well could go to LSU. But,
yeah, I mean, I'm blanking on his name, but that offensive tackle who ended up going to Colorado, and that was not on anybody's radar for him to go to.
Jordan Seaton. Yeah, when he went on First Take and announced, that was weird. I knew something was going to happen just because of how mysterious Seaton was, but
yeah, and everybody knew it was because of playing time. Like it probably wasn't because Colorado threw a bag at him. It was because they were like, hey, yeah, you're starting this season.
Oh, Seaton could have started last season if he wanted to. I mean, he's a good player, and Colorado, frankly, doesn't have many of those on the offensive line. So.
Yeah, how many wins do you think Colorado gets this season? I don't even know who they play. I can't keep up with all that anymore.
All right, so Colorado's football schedule. Let's see here. Let's see. So they got North Dakota State week 1. I think that's a win. They go to Nebraska. I actually think that's a loss. They go to Colorado State.
I hope so.
I think they can win at Colorado State. I think they can beat Baylor at home.
Really, Baylor?
Then they go to UCF. I think that's a loss at UCF.
Yeah.
Kansas State, they play at home. I think that's a loss. They go to Arizona. I think that's a loss. Cincinnati at home. I think they can win. They go to Texas.
Arizona's definitely going to be a loss.
If they go to Texas Tech and they play Texas Tech at night, that's a loss. Utah comes to Colorado. That's a loss. That's a loss also. Then Oklahoma State goes to Colorado, and I think Ollie Gordon might have 300 all-purpose yards on Colorado. So
I think so too.
To answer your question, I'm probably being more generous than some people are, but I could see 5 to 6 wins.
Really?
Wins if they really improve the offensive line. But if there's no offensive line improvement, it's probably a 4 or 5 win season.
Yeah. I'm thinking about the same lines as you. UCF, I think Gus Malzahn's going to pull that off. Kansas State, if they're
that, and you're traveling across the entire damn country,
dude. I don't know how they allowed those league sets to be done. Like, how did they allow Colorado to be in the big?
I told people last year it was after Oklahoma State beat Oklahoma, and I mean Oklahoma's a good team, and Oklahoma State beat them. Then Oklahoma State had to go to UCF the next week, and I told people, I'm like, UCF's going to win this game big, and UCF blew them out. So, but anyways, enough Shador talk. Enough Shador talk. Enough prime time.
Next up, we have Travis Smith Jr., 4-star receiver from Atlanta.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite receivers in this class. He's a 5-star to me. Very good, very, very good player. I mean, he's a jump ball winner. He's not a jump ball specialist. I mean, he's a jump ball winner. He wins jump ball pretty much all of the time. And I mean, he has a incredible catch radius, as you can see on that slant. He doesn't have that super high end speed, but I mean, he's very athletic when it comes to jumping. The way he moves. And this is against a very good Carrollton team right here. And speaking of Carrollton, he was, I believe he was hosted by Caleb Odom this weekend. And Odom,
I think you're right. Yeah.
Showed him the reins, which is pretty cool. They played against each other in high school every year, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But he's officially visited three teams now: Bama, Auburn, Georgia, and then he visits Tennessee this weekend. I think Georgia and Tennessee have been the perceived leaders from what I've seen. They feel like the two teams to beat, but I think Alabama put themselves right with them at the top after this weekend. Coach Shepard actually recruits the Atlanta area and also recruits receivers. So this is Shep's guy. I mean, this is a guy that Shep is like all in on when it comes to recruiting, like services and responsibilities. You know, Travis Smith is his and DeBoer's. So
look at this stuff.
Yeah. So Coach Shep, I mean, I'm telling you, he's a jump ball winner. Coach Shep is the primary and secondary recruiter here. But I was scrolling through Twitter also, and I saw Mr. Joseph Hastings of Bama Online. I mean, he posted a quote out there. So he said, Travis Smith said, they're up there. I'm not going to lie. I saw that on Twitter. So, you know, Bama definitely made a move this weekend, it seems, which is great. They're not going to have – I promise y'all this. Bama's going to sign some good receivers. That's something you don't need to worry about. Whether they take 2 receivers or 3 receivers, I don't know yet. It has to be the right guys for it to be 3. 2, you know, you can be more confident about, but 3 would have to be the right guys. Already have Latsier Brooks committed, who I think is going to end up being a high 4-star player. He could push that top 32 by the end of it.
Dude, he could get 5, honestly. He's that caliber.
Well, he just doesn't go to camps.
True.
So that's why he hasn't been seen. But now people are seeing this film. They're going to go watch him this year. I mean,
he's pretty ridiculous.
He's the fastest player in the class.
He is. What is he, like 21 or 22 miles per hour or something like that? I mean, it's something ridiculous.
But he got clocked at like a low 4.340. So
in high school, that's insane.
Yeah, he's gonna be a 4.23 kind of guy coming out of college.
Yeah. One of my favorite pieces of film on him is when he's in traffic and he just turns on the burners and he is gone.
Yeah, I mean,
can't pull that up right this second, but
he gives me Jalen Waddle vibes. Yeah. Not with the speed, but just like the way he moves. Kind of like how Ryan Williams gives me Devontae Smith vibes, just the fluidity which he moves. This is like the twitchiness in which Latsier moves.
I'm so excited for that, man. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
The duo of Ryan Williams and Latsier Brooks in a year or 2 from now. Oh my God.
It's gonna be ridiculous, man. I think we don't call them the rideouts anymore. I guess they're called the takers now, which I actually really like. Coach Shep's new name for him. So yeah, you know. But last guy that might have a decision coming soon. I nothing scheduled, but might, you know, pull the trigger here soon is Ty Haywood from Denton, Texas, 5-star offensive tackle. It seemed like a few weeks ago, you know, it seemed like, you know, all Oklahoma went on a Bama official visit, and now Bama's like, everyone's like, oh, Bama's the team to beat. I was watching the Wilt Fong whip around like I was saying, and he was saying, yeah, Bama's the team to beat right now. Bama's they're a major threat to Oklahoma, and vice versa. You know, Oklahoma is probably the biggest threat to Alabama. Interesting is he canceled his Oklahoma visit, and it might not get rescheduled. But he also posted on his story today that he is visiting Florida State this weekend. So he'll be in Tallahassee. Not too overly worried about that visit. I think Oklahoma remains the biggest threat to Alabama. But, you know, if he wraps up that visit and Bama's still kind of in the driver's seat, I wouldn't be, you know, overly shocked if a commitment came during the dead period. So we'll see. You know, that I'm not basing that off of any inside knowledge. I'm just off of previous recruiting cycles and kind of seeing patterns through kids and stuff like that. That wouldn't surprise me. You know, Haywood's a top 10 player in the class. So
if he's willing to not start for the first year, then I think he comes here.
Yeah, that would be a statement win by DeBoer.
Oh, yeah.
To say the least. So, you know, yeah.
He's already had a few of those, too.
Yeah, they're coming.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I remember watching one of Bama Online's videos, and Andrew Ben was saying, yeah, we should be expecting 20+ commitments by August.
Yeah,
and yeah. I'm holding them to it.
Yeah, by August 15th, he said. August 15th.
Yeah.
I believe he said 20 guys on board, which I don't think will count Miles Johnson. I think he's headed elsewhere. Bama staff is interested in him. I wonder if he's counting the punter in that, counting Alex in that. I'm not sure.
I don't know why you wouldn't.
Yeah,
he,
but
he is a football team member.
he is a member of the Tide. So
yes.
But last guy, this isn't a guy that really has a decision coming up soon. Actually, if he were to make a decision, it probably wouldn't be till December. But Neem offered. I just thought it was worth mentioning. He was at Alabama 4 times in 8 days.
He was. I saw that.
Ryan Williams is on him. I actually got to watch Offer play this year. And I will tell you, the other team, I forgot who they were playing, did not throw at his receiver one time. Not one time. Not one. He had no stats that game, nothing. They would not throw to him, and it was for good reason because he was all over the receivers that game.
His film just blows me away every time.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's committed to Ohio State. He's a strong commit, but Bama's chipping away. I would say they're making progress, building relationships. That's kind of what it's about right now for a new staff. So,
sweet.
As of this moment, if you told me to predict it, I'd say he stays with Ohio State just because, he seems solid there. But you never know. Visited Oregon too. I think even after the Oregon visit, I think he's still solid. So
I know Ryan Williams is recruiting him really, really hard.
Yeah, Ryan was all over him on his visit. He's still on him. I mean, when he showed up in town randomly for the unofficial visit, I know it was Ryan and Drake Kirkpatrick who were with him. So and Mbakwe. So
yeah.
Those three guys seem to be, and them and Daniel Hill, those 4 guys seem to be the guys that are really publicly recruiting. So yeah.
Daniel Hill doesn't seem like the type of guy to do that either, so that kind of surprised me. But yeah, dude, Bach is incredible.
I think it's a thing with AK Deer. They're both from Mississippi. Their high schools played each other. They kind of previously know each other, so that might be part of it.
For sure.
I believe this might have been the game I was at, actually.
I mean, just look at that speed, man. My goodness.
I think that might have been the game I was at, actually. Yeah.
Golly, that's awesome. All right. Let's get out of that.
So, but no, yeah. I think that's about it when it comes to guys we're really watching. With maybe decisions coming up soon besides name, of course. But Bama's got some big guys on campus this week, too, I believe. I think Caleb Edwards, that 4-star tight end out of California, he's on campus, got there yesterday. And then Khalid Lockett, 5-star receiver out of Texas. He's good friends with Keelan Russell.
Mm-hmm.
Keelan's recruiting him hard. He wants to team up with them. They've talked about it. So he's on an official visit right now. Bama obviously really wasn't in his recruitment up to this point, but you never know what a visit can do. So all it takes is one OV, get him on campus for a week, 3 days, meet with the coaches, see the campus, get your questions answered, and go from there.
I'm wondering what his biggest question would be, though. I'm curious about that. That's one reason why I love talking to prospects and I love talking to athletes who are already on the team, get their perspective on the whole process and everything. It's super neat stuff. I love that.
Yeah. If I had to guess his biggest question, I mean, maybe
if we ever get Ryan Williams on here, I would love to ask him that.
Yeah. Ryan, that would be an interesting one. Yeah, I don't know what Kaluski's questions, but every recruit has questions. I mean, just kind of criteria that they taking a college with. So
yeah,
transitioning out of recruiting, kind of getting on to the other side of things. I got a question of the day.
Oh yeah,
I actually saw on Twitter today. It was asked by, I think it was something Nick Perkins, or
I recognize that name. Yeah,
I'll tag him when I post it. But here's what his question was. Has Nick Saban built the Alabama program to the point where, barring NCAA rule violations, they will always be nationally relevant? Or is Kalen DeBoer performing at such a high level that we just aren't noticing the drop-off from the Nick Saban era? Go.
I honestly think it's the second. I do. I mean, Kalen DeBoer, he is conditioned to this era. Nick Saban, he was saying in some interview in the past couple months, he was like, the past 50 years of how we've coached, it's not the same anymore. And I agree with him. It's not. If you watch how he coached back in the 90s and in the early 2000s, it's completely different from how he ran the program in today's day and age. But DeBoer, he is conditioned to run it like it should be today in the NIL era, in the era where the athletes are so used to everything being catered to them, and so used to just everything being catered to them. That's pretty much the right way to say it. But I mean, he's got the energy, he's got the connections, he's got the staff put together like I have really honestly never seen before, aside from Lane Kiffin and I'm
Kirby.
completely Kirby and everybody else on the defensive staff. I can't remember their names anymore, but I'm terrible with names, man. But it's so impressive, and he's just so conditioned to this era, and I just can't get past that. So I got to say the second one.
No, I definitely agree with the fact that DeBoer is he's adapted well to this new. But my answer would be a little bit of both. I think that Saban built up the program to the point where it was always a national brand, but it was lacking when Saban got here. I think he built the program up to a certain pedigree and a certain standard that only certain coaches can come in and uphold it. And so far, I mean, it's only been half a year, but so far DeBoer has done a good job of upholding it. We haven't played a game yet, but he brought a lot more. Saban brought more value to that script A, that Alabama logo, just the university in general. He brought a lot more to it, a lot more. I don't know how to put it. Just that.
Man, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I agree with you. Yeah, like no disrespect to Saban at all. I love what he did. You're 100% right, but I'm just leaning more towards the second.
No, I'm with. I really don't think that's the wrong answer here. I think you can prove either way, right?
100%.
But like you said, I think DeBoer has done a fantastic job, and I think he was one of the few coaches that's actually built for this job. And I think this new energy is something that, honestly, I think a new energy is something the program might have needed in this new era of college football. So
definitely, yeah. I mean, in the new era, you need high energy, you need high octane. I'm so happy that he brought in Courtney Morgan with him because, I mean, dude,
oh my goodness!
I know you've seen what he's doing. He's incredible.
When I was watching DeBoer get off the plane live,
I saw that too.
I saw Morgan get off behind him, and I knew of Morgan, and I knew kind of like he was, the roster builder at Michigan and Washington. And I smiled when I saw Courtney Morgan get off the plane. I was like, oh my gosh, he brought Courtney with him. And so we were like, oh, who is that? Who's that dude? Who's that dude? And I'm like, you're gonna see here soon, and people have seen. He's one of the biggest for the success. Like Amari said in our interview last week, he said he's a super personal guy, connects well with the families, touches people's life. So.
If y'all haven't watched that video yet, the previous episode to this one,
it was very insightful.
It was a great episode. Really enjoyed having him on.
Yeah.
I got to see Kalen come in live too. It was awesome. It was very cold, and it was, oh my Lord, it was like brutally cold. But yeah, I had the plane tracker on my phone.
Yeah.
If you remember that from those days of the Bama group chat, we were all like, oh my God, Dan Lanning.
Plane tracker from Eugene, from Seattle, from Austin, from Athens. I mean,
I'm still not convinced that somebody in that group chat wasn't right about this, that they might have sent a plane just to play with people, just mess with us. Although that would have been a lot of gas.
Well, the Bama plane can't be tracked.
Oh, yeah.
So.
True. Well, I mean, like Lanning's plane, for example.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
I wonder if they might have sent just like a fake plane with a similar tag on it and sent it down here just to mess with us because they knew that we were all tracking it.
That would be funny. I can't lie.
That would have been terrible, and there's no way that they did, but I'm not convinced that they didn't either.
Yeah.
But let's see here. So we got some other fun topics on here.
Oh, I was scrolling through Instagram today. And I was seeing the new Media Day photos, right?
Ooh.
Yep. So I was seeing it, and I was like, wow, these are really well done. These are like new. There's a lot more aura to them. And I came across Jahad Campbell's, and he looks bigger. Like, he looks more muscular. He looks like he's put on some weight, which I think is good. I mean, he's a quick, athletic linebacker, but he needed to, add a little bit of meat to his bones. I mean, he's a super strong guy anyways, but I think, I think this is only going to do good things for him. And then I came across Jaden Roberts' pictures.
Oh my gosh!
And his arms were the size of my head, probably bigger.
Probably.
And veins popping out of them. What 300 plus? I mean, he's like 330. I mean, whatever he is. And he has veins popping out of his biceps.
All muscle, no fat whatsoever.
I mean, you look at his stomach too. I mean, he has a stomach, but it's like a super defined. I mean, he's
just like my brother. He is built like a gorilla. It is crazy.
I mean,
I tell my brother that every time I see him because he's like twice my size. I tell him, dude, you built like a silverback gorilla. You look huge.
I need to know how one obtains such a physique. Like that is insane to me.
Yeah,
insane to me. But another thing I was scrolling through Instagram today and saw was Caleb Downs. Coach Ryan Day said that Caleb Downs might get some reps at running back and that he was in running backs meeting, getting running back reps. Reactions to this?
I thought it was hilarious, first off, and I'm actually reading a text I sent a response text to that exact subject that I sent somebody earlier, so let me see what they have to say. But I thought it was hilarious. I mean, there's no way that they've got him doing anything but jet sweeps. If they actually played him at sole, just straight up running back for a play, I would get it if it's like out to the side, but if they're just running him through the middle, are they stupid? I mean, there's no way. There's no way.
Yeah, I mean, you're increasing injury risk. You're taking away from the effort he's going to be able to give on defense. Like, he's going to be tired if you're playing running back. And also, you have two running backs that if they were running back, like sole running back one in an offense, they would be, Doak Walker candidates. Yeah. I don't think they're going to either want to win it just because they're going to be splitting reps so much.
Yeah.
But you have two running backs that could legitimately win the Doak Walker if they were solidified like their only running back in the offense. So
and I forget the other guy,
Tremayne Henderson. So why would you play Downs at running back? I mean, I watched Downs play running back in high school a little bit. I mean, he was good, but he's not Judkins or Henderson. And you have a dude who was an freshman All-American last year at safety, one of the best safeties regardless of age in college football last year, and you're going to play him at running back?
And she agrees with us, by the way. There's no way that they're playing him at sole running back. There's no way.
No. You won't. They don't do that. You don't say no. You don't play him at sole running back. But if you even get any reps at running back, I'm going to be wow.
Yeah, wow. I'd be shocked. I mean, Ryan Day would have to be a special kind of dumb to do that.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah, I agree. I completely agree with that.
But I thought that was just hilarious right off the bat. I read that and dude, I laughed out loud, and I was in the middle of an office, so I was like, "There's no way that he's doing that." But moving on, so I read you put in here a potential offensive line class. So,
so we got some targets out there.
We do.
Yeah. So we already got Mal, we got Lloyd, we got Carroll, but the staff is also looking at Douglas Utu from Bishop Gorman. Malachi Goodman, Micah DeBose, and Ty Haywood. They want 5.
Malachi Goodman yet?
Pardon?
I haven't seen a lot of Malachi Goodman.
Yeah, he's a quieter guy. I haven't seen much either. I just know he's a target. The Bama staff wants 5 guys if they're the right 5 guys, and any of these would be the right 5 guys. If you add any of these 2 guys in any order, I mean, they would be fine with it. They would take a commitment from them. But there's a legitimate chance that Alabama ends up with 2 of these remaining guys along with the 3 they already have, which would be on paper the best Alabama offensive line class ever signed, comparable to the 2021, which ended up being not so great. Really only produced J.C. Latham. Brockermeyer transferred. Ferguson transferred.
So much promise.
Pritchett is still to be determined. James Brockermeyer transferred. Tommy did too. So
the Brockermeyer brothers had so much promise. I hated that.
Yeah. Tommy had a lot of promise. I was excited for Tommy, but some things just don't work out. And I hope he's doing well now. He had to medically.
He went to TCU, right?
Yeah, but he had to medically retire.
Really, I didn't see that.
But yeah, now James is at TCU now too. So
yeah, it's because they're both from Texas, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they are both.
They just moved back closer to home. That's right.
Yeah. Well, their whole family is a Texas legacy family.
Yeah,
a Longhorn legacy. So, but enough football. Enough football.
Well, before we move on, I was going to ask you, did you think Mason Short was always going to go to Georgia? Just a random question for you. You did?
Yeah,
okay.
I think. Yeah, well, the main reason he was committed to Alabama was Coach Wolford.
Yeah.
And even though there's the fact that if Saban stayed, Wolford probably would have stayed also. It was always kind of a mystery with Mason. I mean, he was at a lot of Bama games, but he was flirting with Georgia, and the decision to flip to Georgia was so quick after Saban. I mean, that makes me think that it was a long time coming, and that kind of tipped him over the edge. So this is nothing concrete, just a hunch. But
I mean, hey, hunches are the most entertaining.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, but enough football now. A little bit of basketball.
Yeah, one of the biggest names
on the docket
in the
for
25
basketball.
class.
What'd you say?
One of the biggest names in the 25 class.
Oh yeah, Will Riley.
Yes, sir.
He visited Bama, but I think Illinois might be the team to beat right now.
Yeah,
it's actually funny. So Arkansas was originally in his top 5, removed Arkansas, put Illinois in, and now apparently Illinois is the favorite here.
He took a little unofficial, didn't he? And then they just
so Alabama, Kentucky, Arizona, and the New Zealand Breakers in the NBL are the other finalists. But if you were to commit today, it'd probably be Illinois.
Oh yeah.
Commits on the 23rd, so commits in 5 days. So probably will be Illinois, but
I think so too.
Yeah.
Well, Justin LeBron.
I want to stick to basketball just real quick.
Oh, okay.
Quick shout out, former Bama point guard, current Celtic point guard J.D. Davidson wins the championship with the Celtics. Man, J.D. Davidson was a guy I was really excited for. He'd have those couple explosive plays a game. He'd have that random game out of every 5 games, and he'd be very good. Obviously, the dude still has a lot of potential. I mean, he's one of the more athletic players to ever come through Alabama. But congrats to him. Gets himself a ring.
Roll Tide.
Yeah, Roll Tide. Yeah.
Love to see it.
Yeah. And then Darion Reed won a medal of his own.
Yeah, he did.
With the 18U American team. He's actually 17, played on the 18U team, came off the bench, and actually averaged 10.5 points, 7.7 rebounds, 1.7 assists, and was a plus 15.5 plus minus.
Good Lord.
Only 17 and came off the bench doing that. So he was getting active on the boards. He's one of those guys that he can do anything. He's not going to do everything extremely well, but he's going to do everything pretty well.
Yeah.
He's one of those really well-rounded players. He's going to get rebounds. He's going to box you out. I've heard that's one of his best qualities, actually. And he's gonna make those tough layups in the lane, tough shots in the lane. So I'm excited for him. I think the main thing he really needs to work on is that 3-point shot. But especially if you're gonna play for Nate Oates.
Yeah.
but I think he's gonna be very good. So
I've heard that he's gonna have a big impact on our roster this year. I've heard that people will be surprised if he doesn't actually have an impact. So
most definitely. And then he's going to have an impact because that non-conference schedule is
Lord
is a damn near a tournament run.
Yeah.
We're waiting on 2 more games to start the year, but they play McNeese, who was a tournament team, won the Southland. I don't know what the conference is. I think it's the Southland. They play McNeese. Will Wade actually comes to Tuscaloosa. That'll be fun to see. They go to Purdue. They play Illinois and Birmingham. They play Houston and Vegas. Then they either play a good Rutgers team with Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper Jr. Or Notre Dame. And then they play another game in Vegas as well. North Carolina against Creighton and Tuscaloosa, at North Dakota, Kent State, and South Dakota State. Now, that's a gauntlet.
It is. I cannot wait.
There are 2 former Final Four teams there, multiple tournament teams, multiple Sweet 16 teams, Elite 18. Even the teams like South Dakota State, even those teams are good. McNeese was 30-3 last year.
Yeah.
So you're playing quality teams that aren't necessarily, Power 4 teams, but they're quality teams. So
are you going to go to any of these games?
I'd like to go to a game over Christmas break, maybe I'm not sure which one, but I'd like to go to one in Tuscaloosa, but we'll see.
That'd be nice.
Are you? You think you'll pull up to any?
I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to save up to get every single home football game that we have next season, but we'll see about basketball. I'm sure in the spring I'll go to a couple of the home games. I'm sure, but especially the SEC schedule next season, that should be fun.
Sure.
But what I can't wait to see is Cliff against Rutgers. That's going to be fun.
That will be
Oh
fun.
my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to need a few Cliff walks that game.
Yes, sir.
For sure. Yeah. That'll be interesting because it's a round robin tournament. So everyone kind of plays. It's everyone's just kind of going in circles playing everyone. So
exactly.
That'll be fun to see. Some good matchups in there. Bama plays Houston with the first matchup, which is going to be electric. Of course, we've had some great matchups, including the controversial one in Tuscaloosa, which isn't really too controversial in my eyes because it seemed like a pretty good call to me. But the goaltending or whatever. But and then they have the comeback win at Houston with the Brandon Miller team. So it's a lot of good matchups. I mean, North Carolina, we have some great matchups with them too.
Oh, we do, yeah.
So that'll be another.
I can't wait for that game.
Yeah, that'll be another fun part of the saga. But yeah,
going to Chapel Hill.
Yeah,
that's gonna be incredible, man. I can't watch that.
No, going to Chapel Hill. That's a big moment for the program.
Oh, yeah.
It shows you, they choose out of all the teams in the SEC, they choose Alabama to go to North Carolina. Still a little unsure of how. Well, I guess I can see how Auburn got Duke. I think it should have been Bama Duke, but that'll be a discussion for another day. It's just because Alabama's played North Carolina two times the past 2 years, 3 times the past year, whatever it is. It's great for us, but I also want to see a new matchup, and I'd love to see, our guys play at what's their arena called?
I have no idea.
Crazies, whatever. I'm blanking. I know I'm blanking. Anyways.
Well, welcome to my world.
But anyways, moving on just a little bit baseball wise, I guess.
LeBron.
LeBron's back. I believe I saw Zane Adams is back as well.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Justin he's back next year.
Yeah, LeBron's not only back, he's got a Team USA invite.
He does.
So that's awesome for him.
Congrats. I want to say Cade was talking about that a couple episodes ago when I had him on. I can't remember. We covered a lot of stuff, but he was talking about if we get Justin back, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think the program's definitely headed the right way. We just got a big name out of the portal, Jason Torres from Miami.
We did.
He's a good hitter. Great hitter.
He's a big bat.
Yeah, and not last season, but the season before, he hit I think close to 4. He was. Let me look at. He hit
80 something, right?
Pardon?
It was 380 something or something.
Oh no! His first year he hit 472.
Oh my god!
Yeah, and then he hit 331 last year, so he's hitting 358 right now.
Okay, I'm thinking of somebody else. I think I'm thinking of the softball girl that we just got. That's right.
Yeah, he had 8 home runs last year. He had 52 hits, 52 hits out of 157 at bats, which is a great. We need some more consistent hitters like him. Obviously some pitchers too, but Riley Quick will be back next year, which is going to be crucial for us. For sure. So great addition. Vaughn definitely just needs time to get his guys into the program, I think. And I think he's doing that with LeBron. There's a few of the guys that are already there, like Adams and stuff, that he's probably fit his scheme and his program pretty well. Getting a guy like Torres in and some more recruits in, I think this program has an Omaha in their future.
Oh yeah, definitely. Vaughn got them to the NCAA tournament just this year. And sure they didn't make it very far, but they still got there in his first year. That's awesome, especially in the SEC. The SEC is the hardest league in baseball, and so I'm not surprised that he got there, but just incredible job.
Yeah,
even having only gotten that far, I think we get. Shoot, where do you think we get next season? I was asking Cade that question. He didn't really have.
I can see us getting
predictable, but
I could see us getting to the supers. I could see us getting to another round up. I could see us being one of the best 16 teams left.
I think so too.
I think that should be not the expectation, but I think that should be a reasonable goal as fans. Obviously, as players and as a team, you want to go win it all. But I think as fans, making it to that group of 16, I think that's a reasonable goal to have, especially second year under Vaughn, getting some more players in. I think that we could see that happen.
Yeah, definitely. I think so too. Well, I think that about
does it. I think about covered.
Yeah, we actually we have the time slots for kickoff for this season, so I'll mention that really quick. So, for the bigger games, at least, I'll say those really quick. So, Wisconsin, sorry.
Well, what really shocked me was the Wisconsin game. Actually, I thought that was going to be an afternoon or evening game, a prime time.
Yeah, same.
But midday is interesting. Got to get up and get ready for that one. And then another thing I found pretty interesting is Kalen DeBoer's first 2 games are going to be 6 p.m. games.
Yeah, I saw that.
Against Western Kentucky and South Florida, it's 6 p.m. games. Although we need to make a statement against South Florida after what we did last year down in Tampa. That was rough.
I have no doubt that we're going to smother them. I mean, considering what we have coming into this year, I mean, no doubt in my mind at all.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna slaughter them.
I will also
Chattanooga that we played like second last game of last season, and it
was the second to last game.
Yeah, I think I said that.
Yeah, I think you did too. I just misheard.
But we beat the tar out of them. What was the score? That like 40 something or something?
3-3, I think it was.
Yeah, I mean it was ridiculous. I mean I got to that game late actually. I remember that vividly because I parked up at the student center, the rec parking lot. That's right. Hit the shuttle down, and I'll see 2 or 3 touchdowns already on ESPN by the time I'm getting to the stadium.
It was
insane.
Yeah. Another thing that kind of really stuck out to me was the flex times. So the flex times you're probably either a 2:30 game, 5:30, or 7. The Auburn game was a flex game. Now, traditionally and normally that game is an SEC on CBS 2:30, 3:30 game. However, there's no more SEC on CBS. It's kind of a new TV deals in college football. And there is a legitimate chance that we see a 7 p.m. Iron Bowl this year, which I think would be absolutely electric. I think would be awesome for the Iron Bowl. Yeah, especially at Bryant-Denny. Yeah, we don't like playing at Jordan here. That's not a fun place to play. But I think it's also notable. I mean, the Oklahoma game is flex. LSU the week before. LSU game is flex. Missouri game is flex. Tennessee. So all these games are going to be primetime games against really, really good teams.
They chose wisely. Those are the biggest ones of the year. I'm kind of surprised Georgia's not a flex, but
Georgia's a primetime game anyway.
Yeah, it is a primetime game. I'm kind of surprised it's not a flex though. But I mean, that's wise of them to do that too.
Flex just means between 2:30 and 7.
Yeah.
So regardless, that game was probably going to be late anyway. So.
Yeah. It was wise of them to lock it in though at 6:30.
Yeah. That's a game you got to lock in early and got to get that set.
And to the surprise of absolutely nobody, that was the most expensive ticket that I looked at. It was like 900 something.
It's actually on my birthday. The Georgia game is, so it'd be nice to have a birthday present that day. It'd be nice to have a birthday present that day. So, but no surprise here. Play Vandy in the afternoon. South Carolina at noon was a little shocking to me, but I guess you can't have all the afternoon games.
Unfortunately,
but no, I'm excited. I guess we can get into the schedule really deeper in another episode.
Yeah,
just kind of focus on that more. But
I do have a question for
the
you.
overview, I guess.
Sorry.
I guess that's just kind of the overview.
Oh, yeah. Well, I do have a quick question for you, though. So I saw the betting lines. We are favored against Tennessee, and we are not favored against LSU. I'm wondering why, because I think Tennessee's a more dangerous team. They've got Nico coming in at quarterback. They've got several good receivers coming in, or coming back, rather. Their defense was solid last year, if I remember correctly. And, I mean, I don't see why not.
I actually think they're very similar teams.
I think so, too, yeah.
I think they're very similar teams in the fact that they have new quarterbacks coming in.
Yeah,
they have weapons on the outside. I would say LSU currently has better receivers.
Yeah,
defensively they both have a guy like James Pierce, LSU a guy like Harold Perkins. LSU lost some guys up front, so they're gonna have to figure out how to replace that. But both have solid tackles, offensive line. So I think Tennessee. I don't.
Their defense is going to be stout enough, is what I'm saying.
I'm gonna wait.
I'm not scared of them.
I'm gonna wait until a further episode to kind of talk about this more.
Yeah,
just so I can have more time to think about it. But
sure.
The lines are so close that
I've seen next to nothing of Nussmeier, so I don't even have an educated guess on him. But
he played well in the bowl game.
Yeah, that I do know that part. Yeah, but I mean, but besides that, like I don't know a lot about him. But that whole team as a whole does not seem to me as dangerous coming into this coming year as Tennessee does. But anyway, yeah, you're right. We can get into that in another episode. But yeah, I think Tennessee is more dangerous, especially at Neyland. Yeah. I mean, Death Valley can be intimidating, but Neyland, it's Tennessee. Yeah. That's going to be a big one. But anyway, that'll pretty much wrap up this episode, guys, of Surfing the Tide. Thank you all for listening. Y'all have a wonderful night. God bless.